Okay, we're going to start with Alon Ali, and we'll go straight to questions.
Along the last 2 weeks, you guys have played some pretty tough defensive fronts. Talk about the success you guys have had in the big
Yeah, I think it just goes back to our physicality up front, what we do in practice every day. I think for y'all that see it out there, we hit the sled, we hit each other. So we preach physicality every week. And, we knew Oklahoma State and K-State were really physical fronts. We just wanted to match that physicality or, go over that to have a successful game. So.
How good do you think you guys are playing this offensive line?
I still don't think we played our best game yet. I think we're playing at a high level, but, there's always things you can fix every single game. I got a lot to work on. Everybody else has a lot to work on. So we still haven't played our most complete game yet.
What have you seen from West Virginia on their defensive line?
They're a good front. They're really good. 55 over there is a great player. A lot of people know that. They're really good noses, both of them that rotate in, really good. Their bandit outside's good. There's all around a solid defense. It's going to be another really physical game up there in Morgantown. So, we're going to have to bring it again.
All-American projection. Talk about him, his game, and how impressive is it for him to move from center to left guard this year and just taking his run?
Yeah, Steve's a great player and most importantly, a great teammate. He's really handled this amazingly. He's really accepted his role. And he's just, a physical presence out there that a lot of people can't handle. That's why he's an All-American. He works hard at it. He studies a bunch of tape, always in the treatment room. He does the extra things that you need to do to be great. So that's why Steve's in the position he is.
This system you were in it last year, or the last couple of years.
Yep.
How is it? How much better is it clicking here with TCU's players than maybe it did across town?
I just think this group's a little more we're more tight knit. I think we're just really together. The chemistry's really good on offense, so everyone's just having a great time out there. I think that's what it is. And guys are putting in the work in practice. You go out there and you see how guys take reps. They're going full speed every single rep. We're watching a bunch of film, so I think what we do in practice in the film room is just translating better on the field.
Both Coach Ricker and Coach Dykes talked about you and Steve really leading that offensive line room. How did you establish yourself as a leader coming in?
I didn't try to do too much when I first got here. I just kind of wanted to, sit back and just see how the guys were. I've never been a super, upfront vocal guy right off the bat. I've always kind of eased myself in situations, trying to get to know the guys first before, you try to help them along because you don't want to come in and ruffle feathers and that kind of thing. So, I just wanted to get to know them, see who they were as people, and then from there I could lead better.
Has anybody on the offensive line been surprised about Kendray's emergence, and especially the last 2 weeks, his ability to show him the ability to get power back?
You said anyone on the offensive line been surprised?
Yeah, anybody on the offensive line surprised by him?
By Kendray's performance? Oh, I don't think so. I think we saw in fall camp he was a special back in spring. I kind of knew that. Just the different cuts he would make. His balance is incredible. He's an incredible back. So no, we weren't too surprised. Honestly, I kind of saw it coming.
Kendra, when asked about his performance, he credited the offensive line instead of taking the credit for himself. What does that say about him as a player?
He's a great teammate. He's not the most vocal guy, but he's extremely humble, extremely hardworking. And honestly, I can give him a ton of credit for those runs because he makes us look really good. So I think it's a great relationship we have with each other. We kind of make each other look good in a way.
Since you came over with the coaching staff, how often were players asking you about them? Is it okay to do this? How are they going to react if I do this?
Yeah, I think I got those questions a lot, especially in the wintertime. People be like, "How's Coach Ricker in this situation? How's Coach Kaz in this situation?" And I kind of give them a heads up, but also I wanted them to experience for the first time like I did. But if they really needed help, I would give it to them.
And the coaching staff hasn't changed, right? This isn't what you saw in the last hour.
Oh yeah, they're the same people everywhere. I mean, they're a bunch of great guys. I would, hope when I have children in the future that they could play for coaches like this. Honestly, they're a bunch of good dudes.
You think about the performance that Max Duggan has put together over the course of this season. What can you say about him just as a quarterback and as a player?
Man, he's probably the most competitive dude I ever played with. He's tough as nails. A true leader, a true leader. I would have the most respect for him as a player and as a person. His play has been, phenomenal. Really, I think as an offensive lineman, you want to play for a quarterback like that. That's going to take those hits and get right back up and keep going. So I love playing for the guy.
What have the teammates told you about the environment you guys expect to see at West Virginia?
They said it's a good crowd. They're always fired up over there. And it's a tough place to play. I've seen it on TV. I've watched past TCU games. Back in 2014, they had that really close last-second field goal win over there. So it's a tough place to play, but I think our guys can handle it.
Could you give us your name and position on count for the head of your staff?
Alon Ali, center.
That's all good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
We'll have safety Bud Clark next. Okay, we'll go straight to questions for Bud. Just for the count. Name and position.
Bud Clark, safety.
We've done 2 weeks in a row with interceptions. What's clicking for you right now out there?
Right now, just playing what we taught. Pretty much, it's not doing too much, not doing too little, but doing exactly what we taught.
You feel like you're kind of back at the level you were physically where you were in the preseason before the injury?
Honestly, no, because my weight's still not where I want it to be, but it's getting there pretty much.
Bud, what is it about the defense in the fourth quarter for you guys the last 2 games? What is the reason why you guys are playing so well?
Oh man, I've been waiting for this question. In the summer, so like Coach Kyle's, like we do weight room. In the weight room, we'll have like a fourth quarter song. So in that fourth quarter, that's when we go like our hardest. Like we're going hard the whole workout, but that's when like everything going like you're drained. So we got this saying, empty the tank. That's when you empty the tank. That's when everything come in physical. That's when you play like everything comes together.
How impressed have you been by some of these guys that have come off of the bench and stepped into big roles like Abe and Namdi and Josh?
Honestly, it's like not too surprised like Alon said, but just being able to have those guys like step up, do what they did, coming from like whatever background they had, because we didn't know them like that at first, like coming in, but then getting to know them, being able to play with them, incredible players, all 3 of them, it's very nice.
You guys are 7-0, number 7 in the nation. How do you guys remain level-headed and not let the talk get to y'all's head?
Just like I said before, keep doing what we're doing. Because there's a bunch of naysayers at first. So same people that saying we're gonna do it, same people said we wasn't gonna do it.
What changed in the second half the other night? The defense just slammed the door on.
It's just we went coming out at halftime. Coach talked to us. He was just like, it's small things. Everybody stayed calm. So coming out, we just knew it was time to turn up the switch.
What stands out to you about West Virginia?
They got a nice receiving core for sure.
What about the receivers? Are they big or?
They big, fast, physical. They play through catches for sure. So it's gonna be pretty hard. So contested catches is gonna be kind of hard. So we gotta play hard for them.
How difficult was it for you guys at first last Saturday when you're expecting a quarterback that can run a lot in Martinez, and then all of a sudden there's a guy back there throwing the ball around? Was that difficult at first to see the different type of quarterback?
Yeah, it was pretty difficult at first, but we had did it before, like the season, the week before that, we did the same thing. But being able to prepare for a running quarterback, come out with a throwing quarterback, just gotta keep our head on and do what we do because our defense is pretty much rules. If we play our rules, we still can do it.
What's the name of that song?
Which song?
Talks about
It's I can't say that. I don't know the name of it, but I know I can tell you how it goes. It's like it's called Fourth Quarter. Fourth Quarter. Then.
Anything else for Bud?
Thanks.
Thanks, Bud.
Appreciate y'all.
Okay, next up we have Namdi Obiizor, safety.
Namdi Obiizor, safety.
Yeah, you're flying all over the field the other night, 7 or 8 tackles. What has made that happen for you? What's freed you up?
It's kind of, I'd say part of it is like the defense you run. I'm nickel. I kind of get a lot of just be out there free and just kind of find the ball and just go get it.
So, when you came out of high school, you were 5'11", is that right?
Yeah.
You grew.
Mm-hmm.
At what point then did other teams start noticing you?
I'd probably say junior college when I went because I had played 2 seasons there. The first one was kind of like where I kind of like wake people up and I started getting the first couple offers in schools looking. And then I came back for the second season. And that's when I kind of blew up.
So when you blew up, they blew up.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you seen as far as growth for this defense from week 1 to where you guys are now?
I mean, there's been a lot of growth, like people stepping in for people who've been injured, just kind of like once you like get to fully know the defense, you kind of just get to play faster than having to just be out there thinking.
These last 2 games for you guys, you get down, there's no panic on either side of the ball. It's just y'all keep doing what y'all do. Where's that come from?
I feel like it's just confidence in our teammates, like kind of just nobody freak out, just everybody focus on doing their part, and at the end of the game, it's all going to come together.
Is that the message you're getting from the coaches at halftime?
Yeah, everybody just kind of lock in, do your job. Offense going to do their part, defense do our part, and just keep working off each other.
So back to Jeff's question, you're 5'11" in high school now. A few years later, you're a major contributor for a number 7 team in the nation. What are your thoughts on that, just being where you are now?
I mean, that's crazy to me. I kind of like look back times, just truly grateful to be here. And because like coming out of high school, this is like the opportunity I wanted. And I just had to take a different route to get here, but all worked out.
What was your best offer out of high school?
I didn't have any D1. I didn't really have any D2 offers either. It was kind of just they wanted me to come play for them, but not any like scholarship money.
So when you were at Western Iowa, had you heard of Max Duggan?
Yeah, played same high school is where our JUCO plays at.
So what did you know about him?
Pretty much just told me that he was here, and then when I came here, he kind of told me what's up and how he knew my head coach at Iowa Western and everything.
Are you looking forward to the challenge of West Virginia, and what challenge do you feel they present to you guys?
Yeah, I feel like every week's a challenge. It's kind of just like not fearing the opponent, but we got to respect them. Just every week, give them our best and confident what we can do.
What have you seen from them on film that's impressed you so far?
I'd probably just say the quarterback. Got an older dude back there, kind of been playing football for a while, so it's gonna be a good game with him.
Anything else for Nancy? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Coach Dykes?
guys. Thanks again for being here. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Dykes, and then we'll go to questions.
Yeah, glad to be back. Back at practice today. Had a good one this morning. Guys were energetic. Practiced a lot of energy today. Had a good focus. Excuse me, about us, and really. Excuse me. I followed that up. Had a good one today. We had probably even better one on Sunday, which I was encouraged. Following a night game, typically guys are pretty worn out, so it was good to have two good practices. To start the week off. I feel like our guys are, to be week, I guess 9 of the season, game week 8 for us. They're in a good spot mentally. It seem like they're pretty fresh, and I know they're excited to, go play against a good West Virginia team this Saturday. So again, kind of looking forward to finishing the week off and having a heck of a practice on Wednesday and recover a little bit on Thursday and go have a great practice on Friday and go play as well as we can on Saturday. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So feel good about it. Excuse me.
What are maybe some of the older players and maybe even some of the other people who are in the program? What have they kind of told you about what makes Morgan transition to be played?
I just know that, I haven't really heard a lot of guys talk about it, quite frankly. Just kind of what I've heard through the years about it. I know it's a great home crowd. I know this will be a hungry West Virginia team. I watched the Baylor game a couple of weeks ago, and they looked really good. Played really good in that game, and you could tell it was an electric atmosphere, and their guys really responded well to the crowd. So, I think that we're fortunate. It looks like the weather's going to be nice. I don't think the weather's really going to be that big of an issue, and I know it can be certain times of the year. But, I know our guys are just, like I said, looking forward to playing another game and excited about the opportunity. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm having a little coughing fit here.
Judging by the practices, then you're encouraged because they aren't.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't noticed any difference really, honestly, from the way we're practicing right now to the way we did week 1. I think it's been, focused and attention to detail and just kind of same old. And it's been fun with this group because we've never talked about really our opponent that much. I mean, you know what I mean? I think that's been the one thing that we've talked about is just, we need to focus on ourselves and preparing well and playing well and doing the things that it takes to get ourselves ready to give our best effort on a Saturday. And that's kind of been the approach that we've had this year has been that. They know West Virginia's a good team. I mean, we haven't beat them in a long time. I think since 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a number of years since we've, beat West Virginia. And so I don't know that anybody on this team has beat West Virginia. If you think about it that way, it's not something we've talked about, but I don't know that anybody on this team has the experience of beating those guys. And so, obviously they know that. I don't need to say anything about that. So West Virginia's obviously had a ton of success against TCU over the last, 4 or 5 years.
You've been really consistent this year in your messaging about taking it one game at a time and focusing on yourselves. Now that you're getting further into the season, how do you make sure that message still resonates?
Well, I think it starts with us. I mean, I think it's, it always begins with the coaches and just kind of been our approach. And we just haven't really talked about much besides that. We felt like that we had enough talent that if we went out and we played really well and worried about ourselves and our performance and preparation, that would allow us to have a chance to win on Saturday. Wouldn't guarantee a win, but it certainly would give us an opportunity to win. And so, that's kind of been our deal is we can't really focus on who we're playing. We can't control them, can't control their level of play or preparation or any of that. And so let's just worry about ourselves and try to go play the best that we can, and not get caught up in, the last time this happened or the last time that happened, or they said this or he said this, or, it's just kind of been, we just show up and play on Saturday. And as I said, the key to our performance on Saturday has really been our preparation and, through the week, just in practice and in walkthroughs and meetings. And when they leave the facility, I think that's equally as important, just trying to get rest and sleep and recovery and time in the training room and time in the weight room and time eating, and the meals are really important to us. Just everything that's happening that's allowed us to, to perform at a pretty good level on Saturday. And so, like I said, there just hasn't been much talk about that kind of stuff. And really, from the beginning of the season to the end, we never really talked about, our expectations, other than, we have a high standard of preparation, and and that's going to carry over to our level of performance. And we just want to work really hard, the best that we can, to get ready to go play, and then cut it loose and play on Saturday and see what happens.
Just to follow up on that, it's pretty noticeable. Players don't talk about bowl games, they don't talk about ranking.
Yeah.
Is that intentional by you guys telling not to, or just by you?
Yeah, I think it's just I just kind of think it's this team. I don't know why, for whatever reason. I've been places in the past where that stuff started to creep in as the season went along. And, and you hear guys talking about this or that or conference standings and all that. And I've truly never had a conversation with our players, and we've never talked about it once as a coaching staff. Never one time. And so I think that's been kind of the cues that everybody's picked up on. It's just been, hey, look, let's just worry about ourselves. And, and it's everything's always one game at a time, and it's lame, but it is. I mean, why would you start worrying about this or that, or, because really you don't have any control over who's going to win, or, somebody else and what's going on with them. And so you just got to focus on yourself and do everything you can do to put yourself in a position to play well.
What are your thoughts on JT Daniels?
I think he's a good player. I mean, I think he's a really talented guy. He can certainly make all the throws. I think he gets better as the season goes along. I mean, you can tell he just gets more comfortable with what they're doing. And, I think that, I think he's just a very good football player. I mean, really talented guy. That is, like I said, I think improving. And I think, they're a team that has a lot of weapons. He's certainly one of them. They got a really good running back that runs physical, young guy that I've been really impressed with. I like the way their offensive line competes. I think those guys play hard. They've got speed at the wide receiver position, guys that can make plays. So their offense is a handful. I mean, they run every good scheme. Obviously, they know what they're doing. Graham Harrell's a heck of a coordinator. Neil Brown's been around. I mean, those guys are sharp guys, and they know what they're doing. And they'll have a great game plan against us, I'm sure. And JT's a guy that you can't let him get too comfortable. I mean, he'll pick you apart if he can just stand in there and without having to face a little bit of adversity when it comes to pass rush or moving him off his platform or disrupting routes, that type of stuff. If you let him stand there and make throws on time and without any kind of pressure, then he's going to make a bunch of throws. I mean, he's just really a good quarterback and really capable. Well, I think it's like anything else. I mean, I think you got to do a little bit of everything. I mean, you got to be able to mix it up. I mean, we gave up some critical 4th down and 3rd down conversions Saturday where, we probably wish we had pressured a little bit more. But, Kansas State made a couple of plays, and we've got to execute better. I mean, that's one of those things early in the game. We just didn't execute particularly well, and they took advantage of it. And they made some plays versus zone coverage. They made a couple versus man as well when we did try to pressure. But, I think we got to continue to mix it up and show quarterbacks different looks. I think you can become too predictable, at times where if you pressure all the time on third down, and that's a problem. Or if you drop 8 all the time on third down, that can be a problem too. You gotta keep people off balance.
Can you talk about your team's passion when you're chasing the lead?
Yeah. I think the good thing about our guys is they have confidence. They really do. They have confidence in each other. Something we've talked about really from the beginning has just been our ability to believe in the guy next to them, and to make sure that they do their job, and trust that the guy next to them is going to do their job. Because what happens typically is when you get down in a football game, you try to do too much. You try to make plays that aren't really coming to you. You try to, as a defensive player, you get out of your gap. You chase the ball with a bad angle. You try to jump a route. You do things that lead to typically, more big plays and more success offensively. And so what our guys do, I think that I've been really proud of is, look, they do their job, and they trust that the guy next to them is going to do his job. And so, that's what makes a defense function, is 11 people that are on the same page, that are doing things the right way. And same thing really offensively. And so our guys have, I think the big part of our success in the second half has been, just like the other night, we got the ball to start the second half, and we drove down and scored, and that helped elevate the defense. And then the defense got to stop, and that helped elevate the offense. And so we've done a good job playing off of each other. Oklahoma State week, we got some big stops defensively again, which cued our offense to go out and to play well. And so, when you have confidence in one side of the ball and you're the other side of the ball, that allows you to just play your technique and do your job the way that you're supposed to, and not try to do too much to make something happen. And so, our guys believe in each other, and that's really, I think, that the biggest thing that allows us to come back from those second half deficits that we, has been that, just a belief in each other and doing things the right way, and continuing to play hard, and just believing that, look, if we go out and take it one play at a time, something good's going to happen to us.
Coach, back-to-back games, like you said, two halves.
Yep.
Obviously, adjustments. Do you ever kind of take a step back and think to yourself, man, I assembled one heck of a coaching staff?
Yeah, look, it's good to. I think the good thing is what happens to you is as the season goes along, you start to learn things about your team, just like you do your coaching staff, and you go hire these coaches, and you really know them, and you believe in them, and then they really operate at a high level, and it's fun to see that. It's fun to see. Same thing, the coaches become really confident in the players, and the players and the coaches, and everybody in the scheme. And as that stuff starts to come together, that makes it fun. It really does, because you start to, you just start to believe, okay, look, we're going to make something good happen. And, and as coaches, our job's to figure out which direction to point these guys, but ultimately they're the ones that go out and do it. And so, we've got to do a better job starting games. I think that's going to be really important moving forward. We can't continue to just rely on, second half comebacks, particularly on the road. That's a hard thing to do. And so we're going to need to start better this Saturday for sure than we have the last couple. We get into a hole, like we have the last 2 weeks, it'll be hard to get out of this week, just especially playing on the road, and, the emotion of the game and all that. Things can start to slip away from you if you're not careful. And so, for us, we just got to do a better job of executing in the first half, and you got to give, teams credit. They've done a nice job scheming stuff up against us, both on offense and defense. And you got to give our coaches credit for making adjustments, and our players credit for making plays. Well, their defensive front stands out. I think that's the one thing when you look at it for me. They're going to show you a bunch of different looks. I think that's one thing that you're going to see. You're going to see a ton of coverages. You're going to see the secondaries moving around constantly. Typically when the ball is snapped, it's going to be something different than what it appeared to be. And so that's always creates problems. When you get a defense that's like that, it's hard to get a beat on them. And then again, their front to me is active and physical and really plays with an edge. And I think that's kind of sets the tone for their defense. Really, they got a lot of good defensive backs, athletic guys, that can run and make plays on the ball. That's one thing that you notice. There's guys that, when the ball's in the air, they're making plays, they're covering ground, and and they're doing some good things to, create turnovers and, and again, they're athletic defensively. That's what stands out probably as much as anything else.
Coach, on Saturday, their front, we've seen two really good defensive fronts the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What has impressed you about the offensive line these last 2 weeks?
Well, I think has just been kind of the way that they've persevered, really, and how physical they've become as the game's gone along. I think that stood out certainly the last 2 weeks is just, I think they've been able to wear people down a little bit, and that's a sign of a good offensive line. Is when you can consistently take control of the game in the second half, and we feel like we've been able to do that the last couple of weeks. This will be a big challenge for us to try to do that on Saturday.
Coach, on Saturday, Kendra Nord credited the offensive line for his performance, but today Alana Lee credited Kendra for the
Yeah.
What does that say?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you want. You want you want guys to give credit to other people, and I think that shows that you have a good culture, and that's the most important reason I think that we've had some success this year has just been the culture of our players and their attitude and their work ethic, and they really like each other and enjoy playing for each other. And I think that's that it's hard to put a value on how important that is, because it's really, really, really important. And there are some teams that have a lot of really good players that don't really value each other, and and they have problems and they're not playing to their potential. And so that's what makes this group fun, is the guys like each other, respect each other, feel committed to each other in terms of the way that they work and the way that they handle themselves off the field, and the things that they do when they leave this building. All those things add up, and so when you have a player-led team, which this team is really that way, and you got mature guys that are some of your best players, that are in leadership positions, that makes it a lot of fun to be around a program, and a lot of fun to be around the players, and typically, ends up being a good team.
Do you ever pause to reflect on what an incredible job you've done, you and your coaching staff, coming over here with kids that you didn't necessarily recruit and put them in the top 10? What a wonderful year this is. Can you
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think, I've always believed that you just, in our job, I mean, we just have such a small amount of time to do so many things during the week. And so, you try to enjoy the game on Saturday. I mean, you really do. You go home and you kind of try to enjoy it. And it certainly feels good to win. And there's nothing like being in a winning locker room. And, it's just such a great thing. And, we've been here the last three games we've won. We've, had students on the field, and that's been exciting and it's been an awesome experience. But you do, you kind of walk out of the room and you go, okay, that was awesome. Let's kind of focus on what we have to do now moving forward. And, for whatever reason, this team kind of seems to have the same philosophy, really. We had a late game Saturday. It didn't end till 11 o'clock, probably, something close to that. And, we had a practice Sunday, and those guys were here, relatively early on Sunday. And they were, they had a great attitude about themselves. They came in, they had a ton of energy. Nobody was complaining about being here. Nobody said, and I didn't really even hear them talk about the game. It was just kind of, business as usual. And so, again, that's unique. A lot of teams that I've been around and players I've been around in the past, will, live in the past a lot and talk about it a lot, and then sit down and start talking about, okay, well, what happens if this happens and this happens? And this group just doesn't do that for whatever reason. And so, for us as coaches, we move on quickly. We have to, because we got to, we got to have a plan by Sunday, by the time those guys show up. And so we're on to the next opponent quickly, trying to fix what went wrong in the game on Saturday, and see, what all the issues were, not only address those, but then also try to, get enough done to be able to have a good practice on Sunday. And then Monday's all day about getting ready for the next opponent. And then all of a sudden you're on to the next one, whether you want to be or not. And so there's not a whole lot of time for reflection, I guess that's a long way of saying that. And so what you do is you just kind of, you move on, you feel good about it. You probably sleep a little better on Saturday than you do when you lose. But you wake up on Sunday and it's a new day and you're on to the next one. And so that's kind of been our mentality, really. Everybody's. We haven't really talked about stuff much, and that's what the off season's for. It's for reflection and it's for seeing the big picture. Because right now, I mean, we're just focused on the day to day and the next day and the next opponent and the next practice and the next play, and that's kind of the way it has to be.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Good to see y'all.